We're going through a digital transformation of everything. Apple represents a digital transformation of telephones and cameras, and Google's the transformation of books and libraries. Bitcoin represents a digital transformation of capital. 99.9% of the capital in the world is tied up in real estate and stocks and precious metals and bonds. And so we're 0.1% transformed. People, as they get educated on digital assets, are realizing that they ought to be allocating more and more of their capital to this digital asset. And so they're moving from 0.1 to 0.2%. And I think that's really driving the trend. I've said before, if Bitcoin's not going to zero, it's going to 1 million.
Michael Saylor, billionaire business executive and founder of Virginia-based software firm MicroStrategy, has again predicted massive increases in Bitcoin's price. According to Saylor, a prominent Bitcoin investor and enthusiast, most of the necessary steps are now in place to take Bitcoin from a mere digital asset to becoming a major institutional asset that will be held on the balance sheet of most, if not all, institutional investors. A few months ago, the U.S. Financial Accounting Standards Board unanimously voted in favor of fair value accounting for crypto assets held on corporate balance sheets, allowing companies to show gains and losses on crypto holdings immediately in their income statements. When the announcement was made in September, Saylor, who had been pushing for the rule change for years, noted that the rule change eliminates a major impediment to corporate adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury asset. A few days ago, after the board officially confirmed the rule change, which will take effect next year, the MicroStrategy executive chairman again took to his X account to celebrate the win. His post reads, "FASB has officially adopted fair value accounting for Bitcoin for fiscal years, beginning after December 15, 2024. This upgrade to accounting standards will facilitate the adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset by corporations worldwide." In addition to the accounting rule changes, Saylor is also optimistic about the approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund and the 2024 halving event. According to the renowned business executive, all these are factors that will make Bitcoin especially popular among institutional investors and kickstart the exciting journey to $1 million per Bitcoin. We will now bring you clips from Saylor's recent interview with CNBC and some other bullish and particularly exciting news about Bitcoin and spot Bitcoin ETF approval. But before we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
There's a lot of uncertainty around the rest of the crypto ecosystem, but the one certain element of the ecosystem is Bitcoin is universally acclaimed to be a global commodity or an asset without an issuer. So the one thing we can count on is Bitcoin goes forward in the year 2024, and a strategy built around Bitcoin is generally a pretty safe one for institutions. You know, we welcome fair value accounting. It's gonna create much more transparency and clarity in P&Ls and balance sheets for any companies that are holding Bitcoin. I think the real significance is that there are companies like Berkshire Hathaway and Apple Computer that have $100 billion plus in cash. And right now they have to invest it in treasuries and sovereign debt. And with this change in fair value accounting, you're going to have a commodity that's valued as fair value, and it becomes a legitimate treasury reserve asset for publicly traded companies. I've said before, if Bitcoin's not going to zero, it's going to 1 million. The real question is it legitimate asset? If it's a legitimate institutional asset, everybody is underallocated to it. Education makes a difference. Institutional adoption makes a difference. The spot ETF news is good news. Loosening of monetary policy is good news. Inflation anywhere in the world drives Bitcoin adoption. And of course, the halving is going to cut the available supply of Bitcoins for sale in half from the miners. And so we've got a confluence of very bullish milestones over the next 6 months. And I think smart money is investing into that ahead of it.
Over the past few months, as the ETF excitement has continued to ripple through the entire investment world, there's been a shift in Saylor's orange pilling sessions and Bitcoin-related interviews. He has moved from just orange pilling retail investors to going after the big guns, the institutional investors currently controlling tens of trillions of dollars. At the moment, these investors cannot invest in Bitcoin directly because of the regulatory environment, but all that will change in 2024. Meanwhile, Saylor is not the only investor who is now more bullish on Bitcoin as a result of the massive capital expected to flow into the digital asset after the Securities and Exchange Commission gives the green light for a spot Bitcoin ETF. During a Sunday interview with CNBC, Michael Sonnenschein, the CEO of Grayscale, noted that the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF will present a rare and massive $30 trillion opportunity for the leading crypto asset. Here are some clips from the interview.
Well, I think if you look back at this year, the price appreciation you've seen in Bitcoin has really been driven by both the macro and micro forces. I think you're right on the macro front. Inflationary pressures, rising rates have caused investors to think about Bitcoin as a store of value or, a hedge in their portfolios. But on the micro front, earlier this summer when my team had our court victory, I think that certainly unlocked a lot of optimism amongst investors about GBTC and the prospects for it to uplist as a spot Bitcoin ETF. So as we turn the corner into the new year, I know there's a lot of focus on that from the investment community. So I'm not one to make price predictions, but I do think there is a lot of optimism again in the market. I think a lot of investors are adding Bitcoin to their portfolios. And when we look ahead to the hopeful approval for spot Bitcoin ETFs, it really is going to unlock the opportunity to a part of the investment community that, for better or worse, but I would say for worse, has unfortunately been locked out of the opportunity to participate in having Bitcoin exposure in their portfolios. So we're really talking about the advised market here in the US, which is today about $30 trillion worth of advised wealth that we hope the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, the uplisting of GBTC, will allow for that opportunity and for those investors to partake in it as well. Whether you're the CEO of a major financial institution or a sitting politician, you're of course going to be able to have your own personal opinions about these new technologies. That could be crypto, that could be Bitcoin specifically, but it's actually those very same financial institutions and, the types of bills that, sitting politicians are looking at now that are actually modifying themselves to account for the needs of modern day investors and modern day citizens. And that includes having access to new technologies like Bitcoin. So you can have personal opinions, but, changes are very much already underway.
In other news, Franklin Templeton's Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Asset and Industry Advisory Services, Sandy Call, recently discussed her future outlook for Bitcoin, which she believes will become a choice reserve asset for all nation-states. According to Sandy, the moves have started already, with less developed nations combining some of their buying power around Bitcoin and using it as a way to compete more effectively with bigger countries and economies. During the interview with Natalie Brunell, Sandy also emphasized that all nation-states will one day hold Bitcoin on their reserves. She said, "I also think that it's going to become something that every treasury needs to hold because portions of their business will just be facilitated more easily through Bitcoin payments than through foreign exchange conversions that need to happen to enable cross-border trade today. That means that every country is going to have to hold some reserves, and so I just see it working its way increasingly into the traditional banking ecosystem as just a foundational part of that system." Meanwhile, preparations for the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF are well underway. In addition to meeting the SEC multiple times and submitting updated versions of their applications, applicants of spot Bitcoin ETFs are now advertising the leading crypto asset. The first Bitcoin-related advert was released by Bitwise Asset Management on Monday, and it features Jonathan Goldsmith. In the clip, which was posted on X, the veteran actor again takes on the most interesting man persona used in his beer advertising campaign. But instead of his old lines, he says, "You know what's interesting these days? Bitcoin. Look for Bitwise, my friends." If there was any doubt about the bull market or the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF earlier, all of these events and bullish moves are quickly dispersing them. The bull market is back, and there are several indications that this will be especially massive. What are your thoughts on Michael Saylor's $1 million prediction for Bitcoin? When do you think the SEC will approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, and how great will that be for the cryptocurrency market? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.
Hey Savvy Finance enthusiasts, massive shout out for being the heartbeat of Savvy Finance. Your support has been the wind beneath our wings, and we can't express our gratitude enough. Now buckle up because we've got an exclusive deal just for you. Ever wanted a slice of the action? We're offering a golden opportunity to own part of our YouTube channel's potential future revenue. This isn't just an investment, it's an invitation to be a part of our story. Investing means you're not just an investor, you will be a participant in the future of Savvy Finance. No cheesy lines, just a genuine call to embark on this journey together. But wait, there's more. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, become a Savvy ambassador. Share our videos on every platform: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Your shares amplify our visibility, potentially translating to more views and more YouTube revenue. Here's the kicker. If our viewership increases, we would not be just growing financially. We would be making a tangible impact by spreading valuable financial education. Now the icing on the cake. Invest and you'll score exclusive access to our private Savvy Finance Discord. Here you can chat with Savvy Finance, swap ideas with fellow investors, and be at the forefront of exciting developments. Click on the link below to register your Gigastar account. You can also find the link to my offering page in the description below. Get your Gigastar account ready, review the offering details, and let's embark on this thrilling venture together. To the incredible Savvy community, thank you for being the backbone of our success. Your journey is my journey, and together, we're creating waves. Cheers.